LB checking in, man. Keep it locked in, but in between the lines with Coach Stella, you feel me? You dig?
The 10-meter dome is a medium-sized inflatable structure from our Airbend collection, measuring 10 meters in diameter, 5 meters high, and offering 60 meters of usable floor space. The 10-meter dome has a capacity of 110 standing, 50 people seated dining staff. The 10-meter dome can be installed in as little as an hour, great for any event. With a wind rating of 55 miles per hour, we are proud to say that it's the highest wind rating for any inflatable structure. For more information and bookings, visit us at www.annexevents.com.
That kid had a good game. I like him, though.
Moving on.
Let's do it, brother.
Let's get to our Phillips Care Training Peak Performance, man. Who we got this week?
Man, I'm going to jump right into it, bro. I'm going to go 8 and go all the way down to 1. Shout out to our great sponsor, Phillips Care Training. We appreciate you. And I'm going to jump right into it. Number 8, we got Minner, senior linebacker. Carson Wolk, 8 tackles, 1 TFL. And had a big pick 6. I've been trying to look for defensive players, make sure we at least got a couple defensive players on here every week. And Carson had a big game, 8 tackles, a TFL, and a pick 6. They won 49-0 against Medina. Carson, keep it up. Keep doing your thing. We'll see you in about a week, Carson. We're coming to check you all out. Number 7, I talked about this kid earlier in the show, Kent McKinley, sophomore running back, Kylan West. 13 carries, 192 yards, 2 touchdowns. Again, he got 192 yards and 2 touchdowns on 13 carries. This kid is explosive. I feel like every week I'm reading about him or seeing him get a 50, 60, 70, 80-yard touchdown run, and the kid is only a sophomore. You can see he got natural track speed, and as his high school career go on, as he gains muscle, add muscles to his frame, this kid going to be scary, man, because his burst, when he put his foot in the ground and he hits the hole, his kid's burst is something different. So shout out to Kylan, man. Keep doing your thing. They won 28-18 over Maston Perry. Number 6, Maston Jr. running back, Xavier Owens. We just talked about it. 32 for 162, 2 touchdowns. I think one of the big things that go unnoticed is the 4 catches for 60 yards. Because a couple of them catches was drive movers to be able to keep clock and be able to put the ball right back in his belly for us to run another 3 plays and run some more clock. So those was big. Anytime you got 4 catches for 60 yards. So on the night, he had a total of 222 and 2 touchdowns and the 21-14 over St. Ed's. Nothing else need to be said. Number 5, Maslin Jackson, senior running back, Corey Jacobs Jr. Maslin Jackson won 38-35, so they needed every carry, they needed every yard, and Corey went to work for Maslin Jackson. 31 carries, 208 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like I said, this is a federal league, so it's a big-time game. You win 38-35, so that means you needed every carry and every yard, every touchdown. Master Jackson got a good program. They definitely got a good quarterback that's putting up numbers too. But it was all about Corey this Friday, leading his team to a victory. So shout out to Corey. Like I said, 31 carries, 208, and 2 touchdowns. Number 4, Mooney Jr., quarterback, Vince Gentile. He was 9 of 13, super efficient, 217 yards and 4 touchdowns. So only on 9 completions, he got you 217 yards. Quick math was that 1. So that's almost close to 17, 18 yards a completion, 4 touchdowns. They needed to win. They needed to bounce back win after losing 2. Everybody knows the first person that's getting circled on the scouting report when you play against Mooney is Ike Lake. And Vince showed the rest of the teams that they play the rest of the year. You might want to play a little bit closer to me and my wideouts I got this year because we got some playmakers, and he's spreading the ball around. 9 of 13, 217, and 4 touchdowns, and they won 27-14. Shout out Vince, keep doing your thing, baby. Number 3, this kid was on the list last week. He back on the list this week, and that's Strongsville, freshman running back, Austin Tudolinsky. Last week he went crazy. This week he went crazy. This week they played against Euclid. They won 27-12. We know what type of athletes Euclid has. And he went out there and gave you 32 carries, 267 yards, and a touchdown. We know how much 32 carries is. We seen it up close and personal with Xavier Owens. But he wouldn't have got you 267 yards as a freshman playing against Euclid. That's a big-time showing, man. This kid got 2 back-to-back weeks. A lot of people, I don't know if outside of Strongsville, I'm sure people in Strongsville knew about him, but a lot of people outside of Strongsville didn't know about this kid coming into the year. They know about him now. 2 back-to-back weeks. The kid is playing good ball. So shout out to Austin. Keep doing your thing, baby. Keep balling. And hopefully we see you in 2 weeks, and we're going to try to be in town when y'all play Minner. Number 2, St. Ignatius sophomore quarterback Jacob Mikan. Jacob had a big-time night. 15-20. That means he was super efficient. 282 yards, almost eclipsed 300 yards, 4 touchdown passes, and added a rushing touchdown in a 45-33 win over Riverside. We just seen Riverside play Fitch last week and only lose 17-14, so we know Riverside is a good team. And Ignatius needed a big-time performance to get off that skid. You know what I mean? They was on the 12-game skid. And this kid who's only a sophomore, so that's huge for the future. This kid is only a sophomore, and he go out there and go 15-20 for 282 and 4 touchdowns and gives you a rushing touchdown. That kid got it done. So I know people at the crib watching probably like, man, that's pretty impressive, Danny. Who had a better day than that?
Mm-hmm.
I got to give it to my guy at West Branch, senior athlete. We talked about him on last year's show. First time we talked about him this year, but that is senior athlete Jeremiah Thomas. Listen to these numbers, El. 15 catches, 241 yards, 4 touchdowns. Great night, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he also threw a touchdown, and he ran one in. So on the night, he had 6 total touchdowns. The 15 catches and 4 touchdown catches tied a school record. The 241 receiving yards broke a school record, so that's now his record. And then on top of that, now I'm going to throw a touchdown and run one in too. So that was definitely the best peak performance we've seen all week. And again, I'm going to say that again for the people at home. Shout out to Jeremiah, man. Big-time game. You having a hell of a career. Your career ain't over. Keep it going, but you doing your thing. 15 catches, 241 yards. 4 touchdowns, a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, for a total of 6 total touchdowns, tied 2 school records and broke 1. What else need to be said? Shout out to Jeremiah, baby. Keep doing your thing. Be looking for the mail. We sending something to you, big dog.
Jeremiah, way to ball out.
JT.
He got it done, man. He was all over the field,
Bro, he was getting it in, brother.
I know he was having a blast.
Bro, he was getting it in, bro. He was getting it in.
Shout out to Phillips Care Training, man.
No
Shout
doubt.
out Jeremiah Thomas. Shout out everybody else who was on the list.
Who gonna be on the list next week, baby?
Let's see who gonna be on the list next week.
You know it.
Now let's talk about who getting money
Let's talk about
like they supposed to.
Let's talk about that paper.
This week's Stella Stock Report. Take us through it, Coach.
We're gonna jump right into it. Like you say every week, L, we only talk about good money. We don't talk about no bad moolah when we talk about the Stella Stock Report. So
Hold on one second, Coach. I ain't want to interrupt you.
You good, brother.
Wait,
You good. You good. They need to give you a sponsorship for that one,
cut
bro.
the check.
Yeah, no doubt. This week we got 4 players, man. We're gonna jump right into it. 4 kids that's having big time seasons right now, and their recruiting stock is starting to raise or go through the roof. Number 1, Walsh Jesuit senior linebacker Caden Carter, 6'1", 200 pounds. Caden has 9 offers. Right now he's committed to Bowling Green. The kid is having a hell of a start to the season, though, man. If you watch the film from the first week, he had 2 interceptions against Toledo Central Catholic. He's flying around to the ball, big hits. He's just playing with a different energy, a different confidence, a different juice this year. Seen the kid last year, was a good player. Now he's taking his game to another level. When watching him on film, he's very rangy. He can make a lot of plays all over the field. When he arriving with bad intentions. He ain't trying to be your friend when he get to your house. When he arrive, he's arriving with bad intentions. He's everything. He kind of got everything you looking for in a linebacker today. And a linebacker today is different from when we were growing up. When we were growing up, you wanted bigger, muscular, thicker linebackers that kind of plug A gap, B gap, and maybe the C gap. Well, nowadays, with the offenses being so spread, being so versatile, you want a linebacker like Caden. Caden can play against the run. He can play against the pass. He can blitz. He can spy a mobile quarterback. Then he also can go help you on special teams. So shout out to Caden, man. You're having a big-time year. Shout out to Coach Eddie George for getting the commit. Coach George, you're going to have a lot of work to do because I got a feeling there's going to be some schools trying to steal this kid right before signing day, bro. And he having a big-time year. So shout out to Caden. Hopefully we see you this week, Caden. Number 2, St. Ignatius Jr. wide receiver Trey Hadid, 6'1", 180 pounds. Right now, Trey has 5 offers: Bowling Green, Kansas, Michigan State, Texas A&M, and West Virginia. You're watching this kid, and he having a big-time start to his junior year. He's making some big-time catches. He's going up over people in the end zone, making tough catches. When you watch this kid, the first thing that stick out is he's very athletic. He's very athletic and with really good ball skills. Anytime you see a kid in traffic go up and play the ball at the highest point and be comfortable enough to do it and come down with it in traffic, that let me know the confidence he has in his ball skills and how strong his hands is. We all know his brother is a freshman at Ohio State right now, so it's good blood, the good genes. The bloodlines are there, so that's good bloodlines. His stock is rising. The kid, when I'm watching him, he has a good understanding of route running. Like you said, I coach receivers, so I'm a little bit harder on receivers naturally. But he understands how to run routes. I could just watch this kid's film and tell he does. Right now, he's killing it. Every week, he's making plays. Right now, he's a Tier 2 recruit. I think he's going to end up being a Tier 3 recruit. I feel like here in the next week, probably until March of next spring, this kid going to have probably 15, 20, maybe even 25 offers. He's having a good year. And like I said, when you watch him, the first thing that stick out is this kid is athletic. He has good ball skills, and he understands how to run routes. And he's only a junior. You know what I mean? And we just talked about his quarterback, Jacob. That's a sophomore, so he's going to have a quarterback he can work with this year and next year to kind of get the chemistry down pat. So I expect Trey's numbers to keep going up. And it's just like his recruiting is, I expect his stock to keep going up. So shout out to Trey. Keep doing your thing, big dog. Number 3, Hoban senior offensive lineman Braylon Parker. Braylon is 6'3", 295 pounds. Braylon got 4 offers: Central State, Eastern Kentucky, Kent State, and Miami of Ohio. He getting interest right now from Central Michigan, Pitt, and Indiana. When I watch this kid, he's a big interior offensive lineman prospect. Phone booth playing style. Meaning if it's him and a D lineman and you put a phone booth behind us and we locked in this phone booth, he coming out every time. Ain't no doubt about that. The kid has vice grip hands, strong hands. When he grabs you and he runs his feet, it is a wrap. I don't care who you is, how big and how strong you is. It's a wrap. He has a very strong punch. When you watch this kid on film, when he hits you and he punching you, you see it. You can see the kid's neck jerk. You can see the shoulder pad jerk. And Hoban, we know Hoban, they scheduled, they're not playing kids or they're not playing smaller schools, with, you know what I mean, where he's playing against D linemen that's 190 pounds, 200 pounds. He playing against some big kids, and he moving some kids. And I always say football at its core is a battle of wheels. One man trying to move another man off his landing grass and trying to wheel him to get out my way. And when you watch this kid, he plays with that type of intensity. The couple things I don't like when I watch him, sometimes he get a little high, sometimes his feet get narrow, but that's not a big thing because he has great coaching at Hoban, and once he get to college, he'll have great coaching. So that's easy to get fixed as long as he's coachable, which I know he is. He's a good kid, smart kid. At the next level, I would love to see this kid in the gap zone, in the gap scheme, or a zone scheme. Getting this kid to block down or getting this kid to pull would be nightmares for linebackers and defensive ends. But I also think he could play good in the zone scheme. So right now he a Tier 1 kid, but I can see him cracking into Tier 2 here soon. And I wouldn't be surprised if Pitt or Indiana pulled the trigger because this kid is a big, strong kid. He may even be able to play center at the next level. But it's definitely a kid that's having a good year. And I won't be surprised if his stock start flying through the roof here soon. So shout out to Braylon. Keep doing your thing, big dog. Hopefully we see you Friday. And the last kid we got to see this kid week 1. We got to see on Friday night. And that's Maslin senior linebacker Jaden Williams, 6'2", 205 pounds. Jaden has 23 offers. We know he committed to Indiana. I had wrote this down the other day, but I see it came to fruition. I put that he was getting interest from Ohio State, which we now have seen he's got offered by Ohio State. And it don't surprise me. First thing I'm going to say about Jaden is I think Jaden might be the best linebacker in the state of Ohio. To me, it's between him and Sincere Johnson. They both playing lights out ball, so I'm not saying one is better than the other one, but I'm saying I'm picking one of them two. If you ask me who the best linebacker is in the state of Ohio, I'm going to pick one of them kids. Right now, we're talking about Jaden, so I'm going to keep it on Jaden, but the kid is playing at a high level. He's athletic. You talked about it during the game. You love how much range he plays with. He can make a play in the A gap, B gap, C gap, D gap. He can chase you down in pursuit. He can drop in coverage and make a play. He can blitz. He can fly the quarterback. Kind of like when we was talking about Caden Carter, he is today's true linebacker. He's a 3-down linebacker. Don't have to take him off the field for anything. We playing against a team that want to run. He's good. Playing against a team that want to pass. He's good. If we want to play dime and walk him down to rush the passer, he could do that. If we playing against an athletic quarterback and need to spy, check. He could do that. If you want somebody in the middle of your defense that bring that energy, bring that swag, bring that toughness, he do all of that too. The kid is just playing big time football right now. I think his game versus Glenville in week 1, that might have been the best linebacker performance I ever seen in person. That week 1 game against Glenville is probably the best linebacker performance I've seen in person. Right now, he a tier 3 recruit. As we see, as of now, he's a tier 4 recruit. And the last thing I'll say about Jaden, man, because Jaden know how much we love his game. If this kid was 6'3" or 6'4", he'd be a 5-star, and he'd be a top 15, 20 player in the country. That's how good I think he is. I think the kid is that good, big-time football player, so much that I had to give him a nickname. He signed off on it. So from here on out in Massillon, make sure y'all refer to this kid as Jaden Lights Out Williams. Go watch the Glenville tape if you want to know why. But that's the Stella Stock Report this week, bro. Them kids are having a great year. Again, shout out to Caden Carter, Trey Hadid, Braylon Parker, and Jaden Lights Out Williams.
Hey, man, that's a good list right there.
No doubt, brother. Appreciate it.
The first 2 kids on the list, Caden Carter and Trey Hadid, shout out to them. Trey, because for him to perform the way Ignatius been getting toe up, and it could continuously put that type of performance up, shout out to him. Caden Carter doing what he's supposed to do as to add to what Walsh Jesuits is continuing to build over there. So he's coming right in, contributing and making plays.
No doubt.
Keeping that program living up to the expectations. Shout out Braylon Parker on your list. You know what I'm saying? He got the Warren, Ohio roots.
Yeah,
you
no doubt.
get what I'm saying? So,
No
big
doubt.
shout out to him. We got to see his progression over the last few years. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to see him playing, having the season he's having. And, of course, Jaden Williams. You know how we say, like, I heard Urban Meyer say one time that, you can play a game and have crazy numbers, but they want to see how you play against certain teams.
Yep.
And when you look at how Jaden Williams plays against those certain teams where it's 15,000 people in the stands, and we always say this. Man, you always say when we go to certain games, how many come into combat tonight?
Yep.
You might have 60, 70 kids on each sideline.
Yeah.
But
But we only got 29 of them.
We only taking X amount in the battle with us. We know that. They know that. And Jaden Williams is one of them kids that, Massillon, I don't call him a kid. He one of them young men who you already know.
Yeah.
It don't matter who they playing.
No doubt.
You don't have to question what you going to get from him. He coming.
No doubt.
He coming to knock your lights out.
No
he
doubt.
playing at a very high level.
And the other thing I'm going to say about Jaden before we move on, bro, sorry if I cut you off. I'm pretty sorry about that, bro, is that you can see him take his game to the next level. He better than he was last year.
For sure.
And last year we talked about him on the Stella Stock Report. Last year we gave him love. Last year he made the all-Coach Stella team. You know what I mean? But when you watch him this year, the kid he's 10 times better this year. And that's not knocking who he was last year. That's to give him praise and to big up the work that he put in for this season and how well he's playing in this season. So I know Coach Laurinaitis in his mind, he got a dream world where he say, if I could pull Sincere Johnson and Jaden Williams from the state of Ohio, Northeast Ohio, that's a great pool for the university, for the Ohio State University. So shout out to them kids, and again, shout out to Jada, man.
And I like what he said during the interview when you said, he gave a lot of credit to his defensive front. And he said, because of the way that they played, he didn't get touched a lot. So, it just goes to show you that how he plays on the string with the rest of his defense. He don't make it about him. He plays within his scheme. He's definitely a leader. So shout out, congratulations to everybody who made the list. Shout out to Jaden Williams for getting that O-State offer.
Lights out,
our
baby.
Stella Stock Report.
You know it.
The 10-meter dome is a medium-sized inflatable structure from our airbend collection, measuring 10 meters in diameter, 5 meters high, and offering 60 meters of usable floor space. The 10-meter dome has a capacity of 110 standing, 50 people seated dining staff. The 10-meter dome can be installed in as little as an hour, great for any event. With a wind rating of 55 miles per hour, we are proud to say that it's the highest wind rating for any inflatable structure. For more information and bookings, visit us at www.annexevents.com.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep it moving.
Let's do it, brother.
We're going to keep it moving. We doing our thing.
I'm with you, bro. Running the wing.
Our Ellie House Game of the Week. We got 5-0. Walls Jesuits.
Yep.
Going into see Archbishop Hoban.
Yep. 4-1, Holy War.
The Holy War.
Before I go, make sure we preface this by saying this is what we want to be our game of the week. So we hoping to hear back. We ain't heard back yet. Hoban, what's up? Rock with us, baby. We trying to come pull up. One time for the mind. We put our email in, check the email, get back to us. So I'm saying that to say just in case later in the week, if you see us at another game, you know for sure. We didn't get that email back. But moving along, talking about Walsh Jesuit and Archbishop Hoban. They split last year in 2024. They split. Jesuit won 19-14 in the regular season. Hoban ended up coming back winning 35-21 in the regional quarterfinal game. Two really good teams, two great head coaches, two great staffs. We know the atmosphere is going to be electric. Excuse me. We know the atmosphere is going to be electric, so it's a big game due to the rivalry, of course. We already know that. But it's also a big game because Division II playoff seeding starting to come around. And then more importantly, if we got to play each other again, who gets the home field advantage? Now, last year it didn't matter because Hoban was able to go into Walsh Jesuit in the playoffs and get the win. That don't mean it's going to be that way every year. If you ask any coach or any players, if you're giving me my choice, I want to play at home. You know what I mean? So this is definitely a big-time game just based on the rivalry, based off the playoff seedings. And a lot of times you're in that same area. Most of the kids know each other, so that make the rivalry just that much more funner and spicier. So can't wait to be there. Hopefully we in there. On the Walsh Jesuit side, like you said, they 5-0, having a great year. Quarterback David Tarnowski having a good year. Shout out to running back Marty Tobin. We talked about him on the PCT Peak Performance list one week. And Milan Paris took his game to another level too. That's another big-time player who's taking his game to another level this year. And defensively, they led by, we just talked about Caden Carter, James Brewer III, and Grant Plaskett. We talked about them, three big-time players that's leading that defense. So it's going to be fun. My coach's eye review. I got two questions speaking on Walsh Jesuit. Number one, can they stop the run defensively? Simple and plain, right? You playing against Hoban. We know what they want to do. They want to run the ball. They want to run the ball first, second, third, and fourth. They want to run the ball, and they got two big-time backs with Jace Henry and Braden Feaster. So it's one thing to have to stop the run when they got one good back, but it's another thing when they got two good backs. So that's the first thing I'm looking at with Walsh Jesuit. Can they stop the run and make Hoban one-dimensional? The second thing I'm looking at is how creative can they get with matchups and formations with Milan Paris? You know what I mean? I felt like last year's game, they had Keller Moulton, so it was a little different team, so maybe they didn't need to do it as much. But I felt like last year they kind of always put him away from the formation, which he's a classic X-receiver, so that makes sense. You want to go trips and put him backside. But sometimes I might put him in the slot. Sometimes I may go 12 personnel, 13 personnel, put him out there by himself one-on-one just to get the picture from the box to see how they're playing him. So now I can go take advantage and try to give him in the best matchups moving forward. Because this kid he's a big time football player, 6'5". He could dunk on anybody, and he's playing against the type of defensive backfield that's good too. So if it's me, and I'm not in charge, but if I'm helping out at Walsh Jesuit, I'm trying to see if we can move him around a little bit and get some better matchups. You know what I mean? Then on the flip side, Hoban, we know who they led by: Sam Greer, Braylon Parker up front. I just talked about both backs, and out wide they got Peyton Cook and John Johnson. They also got two pretty good receivers. And then defensively, we know they led by Ace Brown. Ace having a big-time year so far right now. Feaster play linebacker. And at DB, they led by Antonio Williams, senior Antonio Williams, and, of course, Rock Hill, who Rock going crazy right now. 5 interceptions in 5 games. I think he's trying to show the country he the number one DB, the number one corner, I should say, in the country. My coach's eye for Hoban, though, 2 things again. Will the offense be aggressive on first down and with their play action? Meaning on first down, yeah, we can run the ball. I might just come out and just take some shots just to loosen the defense up, because I know the defense is going to be thinking what I was just saying. We got to stop the run. Safety's going to be a little bit tighter. They're a little more snug to the line of scrimmage. I'm trying to take some shots early. If nothing else, even if we don't complete these shots on first down or a play action pass, you a DB, you know what I do. At least put the DB on their heels a little bit. Back them up a little bit. Now, that may be all the room Jace Henry and Braden Feaster need to get busy and get boogie if the offensive line can create holes for them. So, number one thing I'm looking at is how aggressive will they be on first down play calling and with play action play calling. Then on the flip side, I want to see what Hoban's game plan is to match up with Milan Paris. I felt like last year they did a pretty good job on Milan. You know what I mean? Same type of secondary. They got a lot of Division I kids back there playing. So they got multiple pieces where they can get creative with their matchups and some things they want to do. Last year, they had Rock playing a little bit of safety last year. Then he was guarding him at corner a little bit. So they do a good job mixing up their game plan as far as how they're going to guard Milan. So that's something I'm looking for on both sides. What does Hoban do with their matchups as far as how to guard him? What does Walsh Jesuit do as far as how to be creative and get him in places to exploit mismatches? And then on the flip side, can Walsh Jesuit stop the run? And then on the other side, a team that likes to run the ball, can y'all get creative and y'all play calling on first down and play actions and not just rely on the run game just because that's what we do and because we can? So that's what I'm looking at, brother, on both sides. I'm excited. Last year's atmosphere was great. We was at Walsh Jesuit, it was great. Week 13, it was cold, it was freezing. Our face was in the place, we were still in there, but it was a big-time football game. Brayton Feaster went crazy in that game, so I'm excited. Hopefully we get back to us, my people. Get back to us so we can be up in the place, man.
Last year, we went to see these guys play each other twice.
Yep.
This around this time last year, it was the Keller Moton show. Keller Moton led that historic drive to win the game.
No doubt.
And then the second game in the playoffs, we seen it was the Braden Feaster show.
Yep.
It was the Braden Feaster show, and you know what I'm saying? We know how people feel about tackling Mr. Feaster. So what I'm interested to see, which, you know, how is Walsh Jesuit going to perform on the road without that environment, without that crowd going in, and without, you know what I'm saying, not for nothing, without Keller Moton, you know what I'm saying? And they have a great quarterback play this year, of course, but, you know, sometimes you have those guys who just built for certain moments.
No doubt.
And he showed that he was that guy. You had already said it before, prior to going into that game, that you seen something special in him, and then at that big time game in that big time environment, you know what I'm saying, he showed what you had seen in him.
No doubt.
So I'm interested to see if Walsh Jesuit has that same type of, you know, can they do it on the road? You know what I'm saying? Can they do it on the road? And who is that player that's gonna put it on their back?
No doubt.
You know, who gonna put the situation on their back like Keller Moton did last year? So, you know what I'm saying? We know it's a mid-season matchup, so
No doubt.
you know, it's, you know, tongue-in-cheek an important game, but, you know, just far as competitive-wise, I want to see who on Walsh Jesuit is going to step up to the challenge on the road without that 12th man this year.
I can't wait, brother.
And on the other side, just to, you know, like you said, is Hoban going to open it up a little bit? You know what I'm saying? We know Braden Feaster are going to be a factor in the game, but will they test that second level, test
doubt.
their passing game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, against Walsh Jesuit
Yep.
with those athletes. So
And they got a new quarterback. So to your point, it's going to be interesting to see how Nick Kinsey do in this type of atmosphere. I want to say I think he's maybe from Minnesota. I think. Sorry if I got it wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Minnesota. Nothing against Minnesota, but Northeast Ohio football, that's a little bit different atmosphere. You know what I mean? So I'm interested to see how Nick handles the atmosphere. Now he got a big time team around him, so you know what I mean. He ain't got to do it by himself, but like you were saying with Walsh Jesuit, it's interesting to see how they handle being on the road at Holman this year. I'm kind of interested to see some of them new faces from Holman, see how they handle the atmosphere, because they're the home team.
Right,
What the home team brings pressure. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, they 4-1. A lot of times, you win games. Holman used to win the games, but it's always a different game when regular students that don't care about sports see you in the hallway and say, "Hey man, let's go." You know what I mean? A lot of times you're like, "Man, I've been seeing this kid every day in the hallway. He never says nothing to me. He don't even care about football." But now we playing Walsh Jesuit this week. He looking at me like, "Nick, let's go. Jace, let's go." So I'm interested to see these kids in that big time atmosphere, their first time being in a rivalry, and kind of seeing just how they handle the atmosphere. They both good players, so I don't expect them to play bad. But it's just a different atmosphere, so I'm interested to see how it play out.
for sure, man. And I hope that Walsh Jesuit faithful fan base travel. I hope they travel and fill up the stadium, because it ain't nothing like.
Bro, that's gonna
it
be
ain't
packed.
nothing like the environment.
It's gonna be
packed. Pack it out, and you know what I'm saying, it was that.
And Holman is smaller.
I was about to say, was that Dow Field is a pretty much, it's a smaller. So you know what I'm saying, we've seen some great games. We've seen Hoban and St. Anne's. We've seen Hoban and Glenville there.
Yep.
So we love to see for the Walsh Jesuit faithful to come pack it out and create that environment. So
Hoban.
Walsh Jesuit, Hoban.
Rock with us,
we
man.
ain't saying you owe us. Just holler
man.
like you know us.
Holler at us, man. Don't treat me like a stranger.
That's our Ellie House Game of the Week. Shout out to the Ellie House for supporting the show.
No
doing
doubt.
Everything you do. That's
Shout
our
out to
Ellie House
brother.
Game of the Week. We at that point, Coach.
Talk to me, bro.
Overtime segment.
Talk to me. What you got for me this week, man?
What I got for you this week is week 6.
Okay.
All right, so my question to you is, who has, in your opinion, has overachieved this year based off of your expectation and your preseason analysis, and who has underachieved based off those same factors? Who you got?
We talking teams.
Teams.
Yep. Underachieve right now. That's tough. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. It ain't like a team that's sticking out to me that's underachieving that I thought would have like a great year. Who's not? That's not. You know what I mean? Not trying to cop out the question. Like, cause when I think about it, like, I'm trying to think Northeast Ohio. Really can't think of one that's underachieving. I can't really say one that's like underachieving, honestly, bro. I think most of the teams that having good years, I thought they would have a good year. They're like, out of all the teams I thought would be good, nobody's really having a bad year. Fitch lost week 1, made me a little nervous, but they bounced right back. You know what I mean? Won 4 straight. And I think a lot of that had to do with a couple guys they had injured. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of a team, though. I know most people at home probably think I'm going to say Harding, but I'm not, because they're young. Like, going into the year, I knew they would be young. And really, they still in a good spot. They 2-2 going into week 6. You know what I mean? Had a bye last week. They 2-2, playing a lot of young kids. And you 2-2. You know what I mean? Against a tough schedule. So I wouldn't say nobody underachieving. I'll just keep talking about Harding just because we there. So I'm not saying they're underachieving, but they're 2-2. They're playing a lot of young kids, so they're in a good space. I would say the next couple weeks and the rest of the year is, okay, can we beat a pretty good football team? Not taking no shots at Booked or St. V's, but they beat St. V's, who I'm pretty sure is 0-5. They beat Booked, who's 0-5. You take wins against anybody anytime you can get them, but I would say the next phase is, how fast can we get these kids up to speed, these young kids up to speed? Because you want them to get reps and you want them to learn, but we trying to win too. You know what I mean? Those seniors this year, they ain't trying to hear nothing about no future. I don't care about no future. we need these dudes to play well now. And I'm not saying like they looking at the young kids like they're not, but I'm just saying as far as looking too far down the road. A team that's overachieving. I'll give you a couple teams, man. Canfield playing a little bit better than I thought they would, just because they had lost so much in the program over the last 3-4 years. But when you watch them, it's that same gritty, tough, opportunistic, make plays when they need to play type of football team. So I say they're playing a little bit better. I'll say Hubbard 4-1. They lost to Poland. Poland put a pretty good whooping on them, 42-14. But Hubbard is having a good year up to this point, having a pretty good year being 4-1. Shout out to my boy Don Perlogo at Liberty. Got Liberty playing really, really well right now. So shout out to Pro, they playing better. And shout out to Youngstown East, playing pretty good football. You know what I mean? I don't want to talk about the bigger schools or the schools that get talked about a lot. So I would send some love. I would say Canfield, Hubbard, I would say Liberty, and Youngstown East. Not that I didn't think they'll have good years, but they playing big-time ball. You know what I mean? I like it for a lot of reasons. For Liberty, shout out to Pro. I know Pro. I coach with him, so, of course, I'm rooting for them. So to see where they were at last year, to see where they at in just 1 year, that's pretty impressive. Shout out to Youngstown East. You know, just being around their program, being around their kids. You know what I mean? They got good kids over there that can play. They don't get a lot of love from media outlets, but them kids can play. So paying a little bit more attention to them, they having a good year. I told you about Canfield and Hubbard. A lot of people in the area don't know how much tradition Hubbard really has. Shout out to my guy, Coach Begg, and other coaches they had in the past. They had a lot of big-time talent and a lot of good teams. They kind of got away from that. Not they got away from it like they weren't trying to be good, but they weren't having the best year. So the fact that they back being 4-1, it's levels to it. Poland beat them 42-14, so they need to continue to get better. But they're having a good year. And doing all that talking made me think about a team that's underachieving. That's Warren JFK. Warren JFK. Like, they didn't pop in my brain when you first asked the question, but the more I talked, Warren JFK. I think they 1-4. Mm-hmm. So just off the tradition alone, that's not going to be good enough. And they got enough talent over there where they shouldn't be 1-4. Now their schedule is tough. You know what I mean? So it's not like they're playing cupcakes. But I'm sure Coach Buente, I'm sure the captains, the senior captains, all the way down to my guy Carter DeJulia, I'm sure they'll tell you this isn't the year they expected, this isn't the year they wanted. But the good thing is only week 5, they got 5 more games to kind of pick it up and continue moving forward. So a little bit long-winded. I had to talk and think for a minute, bro. So I would say a team that's underachieving, I would say, is Warren JFK. And I would say the 4 teams that's kind of playing a little bit better than expected would be Hubbard, Canfield, Liberty, and Youngstown East.
Okay.
Yep.
Man, JFK was actually on my short list of teams that I felt like underachieved.
No doubt.
I felt like you. I feel like they got a lot of talent over there that they could be, they could be putting a better product on the field.
No doubt.
And another team that we covered them a little bit last year, but I wonder what's going on over there at Cleveland Heights. You get what I'm saying? Just with the pool of talent, we've been over there. We've seen the facilities. We've seen, we seen them pack a stadium.
No doubt.
So I'm not sure what's going on over there at Cleveland Heights. It'd be interesting to find out.
To your point, because they're a team like the last 3 years. I just be like, it's too much talent there. Like this year, I ain't put them in that category just because I know it's a new staff and new everything. You know what I mean? So, like, think about all the kids they lost the last 2 years. That's a lot of turnover. So you got new kids coming in ready to, fill them shoes of some big-time football players they had. And they got a new coach, being they lost Coach Stevens because he's been there so long. So I expected them this year to have a transition, you know what I mean, kind of a transition year. So they would have been number 1 on my list for last year. For sure. You know what I mean? Ain't no doubt about that. Last year they had way too much talent to have the season that they had. Injuries killed them. So to be fair to them, injuries killed them last year. So, but I definitely understand where you're coming from with Heights, though.
Right. And if I had to take 2 teams on the short list of overachieving, I like what Maslin Perry doing over there.
No doubt.
I like what they doing over there.
No doubt.
And Mooney, of course.
Yeah, no
you know
doubt.
what I'm saying? I had called
Shout
him
out
out.
to Mooney. I'm tripping.
You know what I'm saying? I had called them out early in the season when
Yeah.
they, like you said, they had hopped out with two wins. And I wasn't for sure.
Right.
Then they took a couple losses and, like you said, a bounce back after 2 losses.
That's a great call, bro.
You know what I'm saying? It says a lot. Says that
that's a great call.
You know what I'm saying? We for real. Man. So, that was my short list. You know what I'm saying, for the same question.
That's a great call, bro. And to back up your point about Mooney, I felt like this week's win against Chardon was the best win all year based on they coming off 2 losses.
Exactly.
Coming off a couple bad seasons.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it would have been
So it was
easy.
a character check.
Yeah.
It was a character check.
No doubt. And they character checked out big time. So shout out to Coach Frank, man. Doing a good job over there, Coach Frank. Shout out to the leaders of the team, Dewey Hurd, John Brenner. They doing a great job. Shout out to the psycho man over there, Brady Desmond. I'm calling him the psycho man. Personality-wise, though, I'm saying it in a good way as far as being a football player. That's a good call, bro.
For sure, man. And that's our overtime segment, Coach.
I like it, bro. I like that, bro. I like that.
Yeah,
No doubt.
I try.
I like that,
Add
bro.
a little something to it.
Yeah.
Let's give our shout-outs, man. Let's get the people up out of here, Coach.
I'm going to jump out of here real quick, man. Number one, I'm going to shout out my babies, my kids. I love them to death. Shout out to my granddaughter. Rest in peace to my son, D. His birthday this Saturday coming up, so I love you, son. Take care of Grandma. Take care of Aunt Ellie up there, and I love you. Shout out to St. Ignatius. Get off the snide, 12-game losing streak. So shout out to them. But on a serious note, my last 2 is, shout out to the Farrell community. Had a tragic loss in their football program and community. A special shout out to Cabron, man. So our love, our thoughts, and our prayers are sent to y'all. And shout out to the Sanders and the Warfield family, man. Got bad news this morning about Mr. Warfield. One of my coaches, one of my favorite people ever, bro. So shout out to the guy. I love you. I ain't going to keep talking because I start crying, but shout out to the fam. Yes, man. I like to echo those sentiments. Shout out to the Warfield. Shout out to the Sanders family. We send our condolences for your loss. Shout out to the Farrell football community. We send our condolences to you guys. No doubt. Yeah, like just like any other culture or community, we become tight knit over this thing we do on Friday nights. We become a tight knit group, and sometimes, when one of us hurt, we all kind of feel it's like a ripple effect. So, so we want to keep supporting everybody within this overall football community that we have, and so we definitely want to send a shout out to D. You know what I'm saying? Love you, shout out to D, of course. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kamitrick. He had a birthday this week. He turned big 1A, so shout out my son Kamitrick. Shout out to 5. Happy birthday. Shout out 5. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to nephew, man. So shout out my son Kamitrick. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Queso. Shout out Case, his birthday coming. I know nephew locked in. So shout out to my boys who's having a birthday. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Lid on the ones and twos. On the ones and twos, got the best producer in the game. Shout out to the family. Yeah. Shout out what we do, Coach. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get some historians out there, man. We gotta get us a show historian, man. We in season 3. We talked about it on our way back from Maslin. We probably we creeping up on 50 games covered. Yeah. We creeping up on it. We ain't did the leg work. You know what I'm saying? We try not to admire our combos too much. Right. Get in there, hit the bag, get out. So. No doubt. Sometimes you got to reflect and look back. Yeah, sometimes you got to know, So it's been a great start, bro. Keep it going. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a blessing and a pleasure to get to do what we get to do, hang out with these programs and, to get to see the games from the vantage point that we get to see it. So, you know what I'm saying? We blessed to be in a position to do it. Shout out to all our football family. You know what I'm saying? Also, big shout out to Canfield and Hickory, both of them 5-0. Both of them 5-0. So if you can't make it to the Hoban Walsh Jesuits game, you know what I'm saying, run over there to Canfield and check out the battle. Somebody's must go. Because guess what? if we ain't at Hoban, we gonna be at the Canfield Hickory game for sure. Go check that out if you want to go watch a good football game in the area. Indeed. No, so you got the young electric quarterback Dungy, and then you got the senior leading his crew, Enzo Coca. Yeah, both undefeated, two well coached teams. So Good atmosphere.
Great atmosphere.
it, brother.
Definitely so. Man, that's our show, week 6.
Before we get out of here, Mr. Warfield, I love you, man. Rest in peace. D, Dad, love you, man. Rest in peace. Have a good birthday, man.
Between Lines with Coach Stella.
You know.
We out.
Stay locked in between the lines with Coach Stella.